Picture this, a small village in Jamaica, 9 miles, February 6, 1945. A boy is born, Robert Nesta Marley. His mother, a young black Jamaican woman. His father, a white British naval officer, mostly absent from his life. This mixed heritage would shape his identity, making him feel like an outsider, a white boy in the black communities where he grew up. Little did anyone know, this boy would grow up to unite millions under one love. His early life was tough. The family moved to Trench Town, a government housing project in Kingston, a place of deep poverty, but also vibrant culture. Trench Town was where the seeds of his musical genius were planted. The sounds of American R&B, soul, and the local Jamaican rhythms of ska and rocksteady filled the air. It was a symphony of survival and hope, and young Bob soaked it all in. In these shared yards, he found his voice and his purpose. By his teenage years, music wasn't just a hobby, it was an escape and a calling. In 1963, alongside his friends Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer, he formed a group called the Wailing Wailers. Their early music was a mix of ska and rocksteady, with tight harmonies and youthful energy. They had local hits, but the path to global stardom was long and filled with challenges. Bob even spent some time in the United States, working in a factory to save money, a stark contrast to the musical life he craved. The real turning point came when Bob embraced Rastafarianism. This wasn't just a change in hairstyle, it was a profound spiritual awakening. His faith infused his music with a new depth and a powerful message. He began to sing about social justice, spiritual liberation, and resistance against Babylon, the Rastafarian term for oppressive systems. The rhythm slowed down, the bass grew heavier, and a new sound was born, reggae. Bob Marley was about to introduce it to the world. In the early 1970s, he signed with Island Records, a label run by Chris Blackwell, who saw the potential for a new kind of rock star. Blackwell marketed the Wailers not as a local Jamaican band, but as a revolutionary musical force. The album Catch a Fire in 1973 was their international debut. The packaging was designed to look like a Zippo lighter, symbolizing the incendiary nature of the music inside. It was raw, political, and utterly captivating. Songs like Slave Driver and For 100 Years spoke directly to the experiences of oppression and the longing for freedom. The follow-up album, Burnin', featured the timeless anthem Get Up, Stand Up, a collaboration with Peter Tosh that became a global call to action. It also included I Shot the Sheriff, which was later covered by Eric Clapton, catapulting Marley's name into the mainstream consciousness. The world was starting to listen, but as his fame grew, so did the political tensions back home in Jamaica. In 1976, the island was on the brink of civil war, torn apart by political violence. Bob, seen as a figure of unity, organized the Smile Jamaica concert, a free event meant to heal the nation's wounds. Just 2 days before the show, gunmen stormed his home, shooting Bob, his wife Rita, and his manager. Miraculously, everyone survived. Did Bob cancel the concert? Absolutely not. 2 days later, with a bullet still lodged in his arm, he walked onto that stage. When asked why, he famously said, "The people who are trying to make this world worse are not taking a day off. How can I?" He performed a blistering set, showing the world his unwavering commitment to peace. It was a legendary act of defiance and courage. This event cemented his status, not just as a musician, but as a true leader and a symbol of resilience. After the assassination attempt, Bob left Jamaica and went into exile in London. This period of reflection and creativity resulted in one of the greatest albums of all time, Exodus, released in 1977. Time magazine would later name it the album of the century. Exodus was a masterpiece, a perfect blend of protest and praise. One side was filled with revolutionary tracks like Exodus and The Heathen, while the other gave us songs of love and unity, including Jamming, Waiting in Vain, and the iconic One Love. People get ready, One Love became more than just a song. It became a global anthem for peace and harmony. It's a song you hear at weddings, protests, and sporting events all over the world. It transcends language and culture, carrying a simple but profound message: let's get together and feel all right. This was the core of Bob's philosophy, a belief in the power of music to bring people together and heal divisions. In 1978, Bob Marley made a triumphant and historic return to Jamaica for the One Love Peace concert. In a moment that has gone down in history, he brought the two rival political leaders, Michael Manley and Edward Seaga, onto the stage. As the band played jamming, Bob held their hands and raised them together, a powerful, symbolic gesture of unity in a deeply divided nation. It was a moment of hope, a testament to Bob's incredible influence. His global impact continued to grow. He performed in Africa, a continent he considered his spiritual home. His 1980 concert in newly independent Zimbabwe was a hugely significant event, celebrating the end of colonial rule. He wrote the song Zimbabwe specifically for the occasion, and it became an anthem for African liberation movements across the continent. He wasn't just singing about freedom, he was actively participating in its celebration. Tragically, just as his influence was reaching its peak, Bob was diagnosed with a malignant melanoma, a form of skin cancer, under his toenail. He had first noticed it a few years earlier, but had initially dismissed it as a soccer injury. Following his Rastafarian beliefs, which view the body as a whole temple that should not be modified, he refused the recommended amputation of his toe. He continued to tour and record, releasing his final studio album, Uprising, in 1980. This album contained one of his most profound and moving songs, Redemption Song. Stripped down to just his voice and an acoustic guitar, it's a song that feels like a final will and testament. He sings, "Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds." It's a powerful and deeply personal plea for self-liberation, a summary of his life's message delivered with haunting clarity. In late 1980, after collapsing while jogging in Central Park, his cancer was found to have spread throughout his body. He fought the illness bravely, seeking alternative treatments in Germany, but his condition worsened. On May 11, 1981, at just 36 years old, the Lion of Reggae, the Prophet of Peace, passed away in a Miami hospital. His final words to his son Ziggy were, "Money can't buy life." The world mourned. Jamaica gave him a state funeral, an honor usually reserved for politicians and dignitaries. Hundreds of thousands lined the streets to pay their respects. But Bob Marley's story didn't end with his death. In fact, his legend only grew stronger. Posthumously, his music reached even greater heights. In 1984, the compilation album Legend was released. It would become the best-selling reggae album of all time, spending hundreds of weeks on the charts and introducing his music to new generations. It's a collection of his most beloved songs: No Woman, No Cry, Three Little Birds, Buffalo Soldier, Could You Be Loved. It's the soundtrack to countless lives, a source of comfort, joy, and inspiration. So why does Bob Marley's music still resonate so deeply today, decades after his passing? Because his message is timeless. He sang about the struggles of the poor and oppressed, but he always did it with a message of hope. He sang about fighting for your rights, but also about the power of love and unity. In a world that often feels divided and chaotic, his voice is a constant reminder that every little thing is gonna be all right. He was a revolutionary who used a guitar instead of a gun. A poet who spoke truth to power, a spiritual guide who taught us to free our minds. From the poverty of Trenchtown to global superstardom, Bob Marley's life was a testament to the power of music to change the world. His legacy isn't just in the records he sold or the awards he won. It's in the hearts of millions who continue to find strength, peace, and a reason to dance in his music. One love, one heart. If you were moved by the incredible story of Bob Marley, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We bring you more stories about the legends who shaped our world with their music and their message. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.